Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the p-value in hypothesis testing. If you are watching this video, I would like to request to all of you, please watch my hypothesis video, critical region and critical value video, and one tail and two tail test video. So after that, once you will watch those video and will come back to this video, you will have some better picture and you will visualize all the things in a proper way. So let's start without wasting any time. P-value is a cumulative probability of the value to the right of the green point and red point. These I am just taking as a example, for example, so that you will visualize in a proper way. So p-value is a cumulative probability of the value to the right of the green point and the red point. So it is saying that cumulative probability. So what is the cumulative probability? Let's say this is your cumulative, it means f of x. If I want to know the cumulative probability at this point, so total probability would be total area, this particular total area. So it is saying that total area, p value is the cumulative probability or the total area from this point to towards the right side. If I want to calculate the p value at this particular point, if I say my p value is coming this from this particular point, so we can say total area, which is denoted with the red dots, from this point to complete towards the right side. If you see here, it means total area towards the right side from this particular point. This area will be your p value. So in this diagram there are the two regions. Let's say this yellow dot is your critical value. If any test statistic comes in the left side from this critical value, then our test statistics will be accepted. It means our null hypothesis will be accepted. If any statistics comes towards the right from this particular point, then that particular statistics will lie inside the rejection region. Let's our test statistics is coming at this particular point, so it means it is coming under the rejection region. So we can say that our null hypothesis will be rejected. So same way here, p value is the area. If we talk about the p value from this point, this red point, this total area, and if we talk about the from the green point, then total green dotted area towards the right side. So this is your p value. So we will explain by one example. After that you will visualize all the things in a proper way. So there is a one condition: if p value is greater than alpha, it means this particular area, if we talk about this particular area p, this red area, if you are seeing in this particular diagram, this particular area, this particular red dotted area is greater than your critical region area. You can see this particular yellow dotted area. Red dotted area has a large area as compared to the yellow area. So we can say that p value is greater than your alpha. Critical value we also called as a alpha significance level. So if p value is greater than alpha, we accept the null hypothesis, because our p value, this particular area, this region is coming under the acceptance region. So we can say that we are accepting the null hypothesis. And opposite is, if p value, this is your p value, this particular green area is your p value, but this p value is coming under the rejection region, which is comes under this particular critical region. So we can say that p value is less than alpha, because p value in green area is less than your yellow area. So in that case we will reject the null hypothesis. So let's explain by one example here, so that you will get some better picture. So before going to the example, let me explain what are the steps we follow in the hypothesis testing. So there are the four basically steps we follow in hypothesis testing. First one is the set the hypothesis. Set the hypothesis. It means first we have to set the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, H1 or HA. First we will set this. After that set the significance level, it means alpha. After that, we will compute the test statistics, either Z statistics, either we can use the p-value, we can use t statistics, we can use the ANOVA statistics, we can use the chi-square statistics. There are many statistics we can use to test the null hypothesis. Then on that basis, what we do, we make a decision. So whatever the value we get, we verify those value with the critical region or with the critical value, whether our test statistics is coming in this particular region or this particular region. For a one-tail test or for a two-tail test, this is a two-tail test, this is a alpha by 2, this is your alpha by 2. It means this is your critical region, this will also be your critical region. In a two-tail test, if your test statistics coming inside this region or inside this region, in that case we reject the null hypothesis. And if your test statistics coming between this particular region, then this is your acceptance region, then we can say that we are accepting the null hypothesis. So let's explain by one example here. Example is that let's average weight of all the peoples in a city is 55 kilogram. We have one city, in that city all the people's weight is 55 kilogram, and a survey team believe that the true mean will be different. This is some predefined or calculated like a population weight, which was like measured 1 or 2 years back. But today survey team is saying that whatever the population mean government site is showing, that is seems like incorrect, but as per the survey team they are saying that it will be a different. So in that case, what would be our null hypothesis? So in that case, our null hypothesis will be 55 kilogram. We can say that the population mean is 55 kilogram. Survey team verify this null hypothesis, and alternate hypothesis will be not equal to 55 kilogram. You can see here, because null hypothesis is 55 kilogram and alternate is not a 55 kilogram. So in that case, which statistics we will follow, one tail test or a two tail test? Please think about that. So let me explain. This is your null hype, this is your null 55 kilogram. If survey team do some testing or do some research and they found that the weight is coming the 56 kilogram. If they are getting the 56 kilogram, in that situation we can also reject the null hypothesis. They are also getting the 54 kilogram weight. In that case we can also reject the null hypothesis. So we need to verify the weight in both the direction. This is your 55, so we have to verify in the right side, we also have to verify in the left side. So in that case this would be your two tail test. So what the survey team do, they measured a weight of 36 random people. It means in the population, this is your population, this is your population peoples. What the survey team do, they randomly pick the 36 peoples in all the population. So what is the 36? So 36 your samples. It means your n would be your 36. It means sample size. And they found that the mean is 56.5 kilogram. This is your sample mean. So sample mean would be your 56.5 kilogram. And what is the standard deviation of the sample mean? Sample mean standard deviation is 3.8. And at 95% confidence interval, this is your confidence level. So what is the alpha? Alpha would be your 1 minus confidence level. 1 minus 0.95, it means 0.05. So how we calculate the alpha? So whatever the confidence interval we have, we have the confidence interval 98%. In that case, our C value confidence would be 0.98 and alpha would be 1 minus C, 1 minus 0.98. So we calculate this way for a one tail test. But for two tail test, our alpha would be alpha by 2. So alpha is coming 0.05. This is our two tail test. So what we can do, we can divide in a two portion, like right side and your left side. This would be your 0.025, 0.025. So what we have to verify if we use the p statistics? In that case, we have to verify that if the p value is coming less than alpha, it is your alpha, okay, this is your alpha by 2. If p value is coming less than alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis. If p value is coming greater than alpha, we will accept the null hypothesis. So what we have to do, we will first calculate the Z score. So how we calculate the Z score? Z we calculate via x bar minus mu divided by s, then again divided by underscore n. This is called your standard error. So this is the formula of Z statistic or Z value. So x bar, what is the sample mean? Sample mean we have 56.5, and what is the population mean? Population mean we have 55.5, then divided by standard deviation we have 3.8, divided by underscore 36, it means sample size. So after calculating this, we get Z value is 2.3684. This is, we are getting the Z value. So because we are getting the Z value, we are getting Z value is equal to 2.3684. It means we are getting like something like, let this particular value, let we can say Z is this, let we can say Z is equal to this. But how the p value work? P value work with the area. So we need to calculate the corresponding area. What is the area corresponding this Z value? How we calculate the area? So for that we will use the Z table. Let's measure the area corresponding to 2.3684. So we have to calculate the area corresponding to 2.3684. So we can write this in such a way, 2.36, can also write this 2.30 plus 0.6. So first we need to get the 2.3. This is your Z value. So where is coming 2.3? This is your coming the 2.3. Now towards the right direction, we have to check the 0.06. This is your 0.06. And this is your 2.23. So this region, it means area is coming 0.9909. So here you can see that our area is coming 9909. We can say that this area, because Z, if you talk about the Z statistics, this is your Z value and we got a area. So area would be the total left area. This particular area would be your Z area. So this particular area, so here if the Z is coming somewhere, it is coming at this point, so this particular area would be your, all the left area would be your Z area. So as we know, total area under the curve is 1. So how we calculate the p value? P value would be your 1 minus total left area, because the total area from minus infinity to positive infinity would be your 1. So we know the left area. If we want to know the right area from, this is your the test statistics, and if we want to know the this particular area, how we can get? We need to subtract from the 1. 1 is your total area minus this particular area, then after that we will get this particular area. This area we are getting the 0.0091. And what is the alpha? Because if you know, alpha is coming alpha by 2, because this is a two-tailed test. So what we need to do, we need to multiply this value with 2, or we can add the same value, because we have to measure both the sides. So we can add this particular value here. So total value of the p is coming 0.018. So and on what is the value of alpha? You can see here what is the value of alpha. Alpha is value 0.05 and p value we are getting 0.18. So in that case we can say that this is your alpha. Okay, let's alpha is coming 0.05, we can say. Okay, this is your alpha, we can say that. And what is the p value? P value is this only, this region, because this is total 5%, we can say that, but this is coming only 1.82%. So 5% is greater than 1.82%. So it means we can say that p value is less than alpha. If p value is less than alpha, it means p is coming inside the critical region. If you see here, if the p value is this, okay, in that case, if p value is this, it means p value is under the critical region. So what we need to do, what we will do, we will reject the null hypothesis. So in that case, we will reject the null hypothesis. So by using this p value method, p hypothesis, we can solve this type of the problem. I hope you will like my video. If you have any question or any query, please mention in the comment section. I will try to answer all of your query as soon as possible. Thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day.